Too hot? Too hot? Too hot? Turn the AC on? It's 85 degrees in here. It's like 100 or something outside. Want to turn it on? Yeah, it's not good enough? I like the heat too. I'll tell you what, turn it on for about 20 minutes, all right? Get down to about 75. I like it. Who you trying? Who you telling? Come on back up. Come on. Come on, Papa. You know I like the heat during the daytime. I take a cold shower, so. You and his hair, what the hell? book. Is it under the... Boy, if you was playing with it and it's under the sofa, we is gonna have a long talk, boy. Let me look. Boy, it better not be rolled up under here. I swear for goodness, man. You just doing way too... That's why you be down here running around acting a little retarded. Come on, cuz. God dog, man. I was gonna say, man, it was there, bro. Oh my goodness, we gonna talk. Damn. Oh. All right, I found it. That was on me. That was on me. That was on you. I'm gonna do this one more time before I go ahead and read this real quick. Let me show y'all something. Okay. Gotta put this back up. I don't like leaving it out. Alright, I'm gonna show y'all something I utilize. I'm gonna show y'all something that I utilize every once in a while. Remember I said I don't take minerals and supplements every day. If I'm out in the sun and I know that it's no harm in having a little cup, a little bit extra vitamin D. Now you think about when you're young and you were drinking like a lot of goat milk or cow milk, right? A lot of that stuff was jacked up, regardless of what you believe it was. We just didn't know until around the 90s and 2000s, you know, around 21st century is when we really started calling it out. It was being called out. But whenever I do, I take K2 with D3. I always knew about vitamin K2, and it's in a lot of plants. The thing is, can you take too much of it? I believe that we're not supposed to be consuming a lot of anything. Honestly, I do. Just like a lot of these clouds are man-made in every state. I don't know, I forget how many the number was of these plants that make these clouds. But usually, I always took Peak Performance, Liquid Vegan, vitamin K2 and K2 and D3. I usually take 3 shots right after I get my little lemon water or a little warm, just water, this little sip, rinse my mouth long before I brush my teeth. I usually don't brush my teeth until after I eat something. I take about 3, you can take up to 5 shots. And if I don't feel like taking that, and I only do that once a day, if I decide to take another vitamin D, it's got to be at 500, not 5,000 IUs. But I'll just take the regular vegan form, all right, plant-based at least. Because I like to go out in the sun. I need to go out in the sun after I get done reading here. So I want to go ahead and get the read done, but also utilize live conscious. And there's another one I use, which is based upon the sun's photosynthesis, whatever the smack. And it's stuff. Anyway, the stuff's not all 1,000. But it's decent. You don't have no mRNA that they try to lie about and censor about, which is deadly. All right, these bastards. The same ones running all these corporations and companies are pedophiles and everything else. Look at Oprah Winfrey now. All of a sudden she's quiet and hiding. And she should be, because she's all of them are part of it. And y'all know that you have chelated, and then you have the other form, the liquid form of copper, zinc, and all that. Now I take the blue liquid zinc. It's a lot better than the chelated form or the colloidal. I'm not too big on the colloidal, even though it's a lot of people still swear by it, but I always take chelated copper. Now this right here is my Solgar. I'm not big on a lot of that vitamins and stuff. Ever since when I was really when I started getting back into powerlifting, and I just said enough of that, and I just stopped one day. I gave all those vitamins away. It was kind of rainbow color, orange, this, that, and other. Another thing I'm starting to do is leave a lot of stuff coming out of California, because California is a perversion. So you brothers there allowing all this stuff to happen, either you're cowards or you're weak. I state that on the fact. Now, one of the things I do as far as people always talk about men's prostate and this, that, and other, selenium, and that other stuff that people like to utilize. I don't have none down here because I don't take it every day. I take it once or twice a week. But I like to take horse chestnut. Horse chestnut, ooh-wee. It was 1 milliliter. So 1 milliliter is about that much. Well, it depends on how thin your dropper is too. Shake it up really good. But 1 milliliter of this dropper is thin, much more thin than the ones that I usually take. Let me do this right. All right, let me see here. Okay, that's about a little less where the bubbles at. That's about a milliliter. All right, and because of glycerin, it really gets around in you. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, just 1 milliliter. I'm gonna do that. 1 full is the best to take. I'm not gonna say this for children, even with what's going on. But I usually take this with like coconut water, or I take an orange, cut it in half, or put it in a little press and just drink that with a shot of this. You got to shake it up and keep it in a cool, dry place. Don't keep it in light sunlight. Even though it's in a dark container, it doesn't matter. Same thing with this. Don't see, it's glass. I'm not big on plastics and stuff like that. Then you know me. I get my but every 2 or 3 days I take 1 tablespoon of my black seed, and also a powder. If I don't take this, like every few days, I take one of this. And right now I got to take this. I ate red grits and some lamb. But a ton of onion, a whole onion, garlic, cayenne pepper, about 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper. It was so good though. Dash of salt, iodized salt. Be careful because a lot of them have anti-caking agents, which are not good in your veins and stuff like that, and your skin, your pores. And paprika and curry. And I add that to my grits as well. And salted Irish cream butter. But right now I'm going to take this right in front of you guys because I should have took it about a half hour ago, and I says no. And Snoo knows because my fermented skate liver oil, which is seafood, but it's fermented. Believe me, this right here with the cupping exercises that I do, I'm going to show you all that again too. For any of you guys that might have gotten a jab or having issues, you believe you may be having issues, stent in your heart, a valve, or a pacemaker or something like that, I would talk to your doctor before doing this exercise I'm going to show you. Ooh, child. Make me think of gefilte fish without salt. It's fermented, trust me. Gotta watch that. Okay. Whew, that's strong. I think mine's a little extra fermented. No, it's cool. It's not hot in my apartment. 80 something, but it's cool. And another thing, when you take cold showers, your body regulates temperature differently. It's like, it could be like 100 degrees, you'll feel the heat, but it's like, oh, okay. And I ain't talking about like, it's dry, regardless of whether humid or dry, all right? So, now you don't take that with black seed oil. Now you can take the black seed oil about an hour and a half, 2 hours before you go to sleep, preferably in the afternoon or in the morning. But be careful, don't mix a whole lot of things together, because if you start mixing, you don't want to mix horse chestnut, black seed oil, and chelated copper, and then have an iodine drink. Your stomach is going to be beat up. Now what you're doing is not only have you raised your alkalinity, you're killing off the very vital things in your gut. That's about gut health. That's why it's important to take that little warm sip of water, maybe a little lemon. It's not too acidic, it's not too alkaline. Lime, different. Lemon is a lime, but it's a different age. Anyway, where it doesn't disrupt, but it can destroy parasites, which seems to be more so man-made today, to cause your health to be jacked up, your endocrine system and DNA and all that other stuff. Anywho, child. Mouth got a little, not throwing up, but mouth got a little watery there. So what I'm gonna do is take a little sip of water. For real. God damn. Which is not gonna hurt. There's no lime or lemon in that. Oh. But again, you don't want to mess your system up with a whole bunch of lime and lemons and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to upset your gut health and all that kind of stuff. And in your body, all the parasites that are man-made, as I stated, can have a very longing and lasting effect. And that keeps you from regenerating. When I told a friend of mine who had liver, I said, you know, your liver can regenerate. What do you mean? Dude, you got to stop. You got to fast, bro. I said, you got to fast for about 4 or 5 days. You can't have water as it is. She says, yeah, but I says, bro, you got to fast. What do you mean? You've got to walk the line near death. He thought I was crazy. Well, my brother right now didn't have a liver transplant. Not my brother, a good friend of mine. He didn't have a liver transplant. He's not on that crap that what you call that stuff. He's not anyway, his liver, that's been 15 years. His liver's perfect. Don't have jaundice. He's straight up vegan though. He more or less eats fruit more than he does vegetables. He grows jackfruit, prickly cucumbers. I know I said he eats fruit, but he still eats cucumbers and certain things like that. He has he spent, I think with his settlement, he spent about $8,000 on a water purification and then dug a well. And his shower and his bathroom, his sink water, all that runs through galvanized, stainless steel, copper, and galvanized, I forget what the other stuff is. He's getting minerals also from his pipe. Homeboy is like the picture of health. And when I look at the pictures of him when his liver was jacked up, and when he was in North before he moved out to, I think he moved out to Texas, where he's at now. I can't see where he's at. Anyway, yeah, he's like 6 years old, and I was like, maybe I should pay attention to what I was telling you. But you know, everybody's got their reason, all right? So I was gonna show you something. See, I told you, that fermented skate oil ain't no joke. And it's good to take stuff, but you don't have to take it every day. Now, some people will do this. They'll do what's called a load period, anywhere from 5 to 7 days. Okay, cool. But be mindful of what you're eating. Okay? Be mindful of what you're eating. What was that, honey? Spicy orange. Some virgin cold pressed. Oh, okay, you're sharing it. Good. Be mindful of what you're eating. Because our body, we can overdo it with minerals and everything else. There's a balance, especially if you're not, especially if you got a sofa ass. So you got to get out there. You got to walk. You got to get at least an hour, 2 hours in. I don't care if you split it up throughout the day. You got to get up, move around. Not just in the house. You need to be in the sun. You need to be out in that air, regardless of what's falling. Okay, you know what I asked you about earlier? If y'all see the little metal things that gather that used to never be there. And we're dealing with a perversion of time, and y'all need to come into that reality. Okay, isn't it funny how they were censoring everybody talking about the jab? The very same people, right? Now the truth is out. The jab is no damn good. And they'll still attempt with some certain ignoramuses. Because you see the VA, they're veterans who are getting really pissed off now because the VA keeps reaching out to them all. We're giving them a fee of COVID-19. And even after the government, even after they said, we didn't make anybody get it. You people commit suicide, ruin jobs. This is how sick these bastards are. The Department of Veteran Affairs has shown themselves for what they are. Now they think they're going to increase the payment, like that's going to take care of all this. They can pay everybody $1 million. It wouldn't take care of what's been done. And then you look at all these doctors and the nurses and the ones they let go who refuse, hundreds and thousands. It's pretty, and they got their own practices. You need to find them if you need to get some real help. Okay, but anywho, it's really sick what's going on. And I got a friend who anyway, he gets to look at some of the heart damage and veins and thrombosis, all the, and he's sitting there saying people that got jabbed that died, they're finding some terrible stuff within their arteries and just stuff that shouldn't be there. It's not natural. And the FDA approved an experimental call them. This is what they're trying to back themselves up. They're part of the agenda. Emergency. There was no emergency. And then you got Oregon, that fake ass judge with the nerve to talk about you no more than 10 rounds. And government, you don't tell people what they can and cannot own. See, the problem is we got too many idiots who believe, because there's too many idiots who are around you who are part of the problem. And y'all want to listen to them? What makes you believe you have to give them an ear? See, this is the conundrum. You dig what I'm saying? Oh, he's in his kitty box. I cleaned it out. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this reading because I got to run out and grab him his other treat, his hairball control stuff. His hairballs are weird looking. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this in. We're going to get the half the material because I really want to come back in about 2 hours and get the other reading in because that stuff, this is all good. And I hope the ladies will come in. Somebody asked me about the books I was reading earlier. I left you a message. I don't know if you went and checked it, but let me show you the book again because I stated it before I read it. All right. It's Custodians of Time. All right. You see that? By Robbie Cottrell. All right. All the videos I do this. So to ask me a question like that has me wondering. Anyway, not deeply either. The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Walls, Worlds Beyond Antarctica, Nostrofatum. Okay. And you know about Claudio Naselli. Okay. We'll be reading that in a little while. Let's right now get into the Hatha material, Messages from an Ascended Civilization. Now, a lot of these books are written by Pelskins who honestly believe that they don't believe in white supremacy and that they're not part of a status. No, if you call yourself white, I don't give a damn if you was 30 years as a Delta Green Beret. I don't give a flying fuck who you think you are. I don't care if you just got your brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Doesn't mean a fuck. Because we got some people out there who's got these attitudes. I'm funny, you know, I know you're not. I don't care if you done killed some people. I know killers that killed about. I know some killers that killed some people. Ain't been no goddamn military nowhere, and they damn fucking good at it. And so I don't care about all that. But and sadly, I say that. But let's get this clear. You Pelskins need to stop writing these books and adding your little white touch to it, which is a problem, even for those individuals like George Orwell and a number of other people who have been issue with it. Stop being so goddamn condescendingly stupid. Okay? Please, write it with the best references and sources of histories. Stop equating fucking religion, your Jesus and shit to it. Stop it. And you goofy fucking Moors. Do I need to go and read what Benjamin Franklin had to say about the swarthy Americans? And to label us Moors, Frederick Douglass and Benjamin Franklin? Is that what y'all need? Because you motherfuckers are mighty fucking stupid. Stop it with the Moors. Now, I already shared a video, and there's about 30 out there with individuals from Morocco and other places telling you more is not what it is. The land of Mu is where the entitlement of the ideology of Moor, based on hidden teachers to keep people running around in division and separation. So anybody talking about the Moorish Science Temple, the motherfuckers are like that some bitch that Tom Cruise goes to, Scientology. You motherfuckers are frauds. I don't give a fuck about Bay and anybody. I don't care about none of that. And who am I? Somebody with fucking authority to say so. That's who I am. Stupid asses. You get caught up in something and you don't know how to free yourselves, and then you wonder why your head's always smelling your ass. Stop the bullshit. Now, the Hatha material, Messages from an Ascended Civilization, because it's tiresome to see people running around so broken. And the majority, 99% of you, aren't meant to be teaching shit anyway. So we're back at Virginia. Let's go ahead and get into that. Virginia. Have you had any... Stop it. It's because you took a little dump. Oh, here we go. We'll get the zoomies in a minute. Have you had relationships with the Palladians or beings from Orion or other so-called outposts of the human family? Outposts of the human family. What did I state about Orion and Palladians? Aren't those lands outside the walls and with other walls? Well, the Hathor stated, yes, we know the Palladians and Syrians, the Orions and Arcturians. We know others who you do not have names for yet, and we say yet because this will change, since you are becoming a galactic and intergalactic humanity. What does galactic have to do? What does that really mean? Interdimensional, right? Okay. Understand that each of these groups has a distinct flavor of personality, be they the Palladians, the Syrians, or etc. So every cultural group has its own specific bent flavor of personality as they view and operate through the great mystery. And that reminds me of before Egypt, Atlantis, the great mystery, that which came, lifted, and ascended, and taught those that would survive. And that was us. Us and us. Yes. Anyway, and may we say these differences give us sincere pleasure. We are intrigued by the differences, these idiots, differences by all the levels of the great universe. And that is one reason why we are so intrigued and in love with humans. And well, Virginia turns around and states, and that's because, and the half is a reply, of their extreme diversity, their differences, their connection that runs deep to the roots of the great universe through their heart, through their emotional being. Yet during incarnation, they find themselves in a paradoxical situation, in many ways much more difficult than those of us who are at an ascended level. Now, why? Because they live in a three-dimensional reality, and their senses tell them that things are limited, finite, and constricted. Indeed, their senses cannot show them the truth of the great universe as we perceive it, because their senses are landlocked in this three-dimensional reality. And yet their spirit knows and yearns, and it is connected to the greater reality, the greater mystery. And religion doesn't free you. And that to us is something most intriguing, as it is for many other beings in other realms. It is something we cherish and honor in humans. Well, the Virginia goes on to say, thank you for that. Could you comment a little bit about your relationship to the solar system in general? You know, we have 3 smaller planets. Here goes the bullshit, Pelskins, near Earth. Those we call, and you know what planet means. It's not out there, people. But anyway, I hope you remember that one as I read. Those we call the inner planets, which are Mercury, Mars, and Venus. And then we have those so-called further out physical planets of the solar system. Could you, soul, our area, system on the land. You got to listen to these words. That's not complicated to define and redefine and redetermine words. The sole of your heel means to be able to walk. Air, our area, as in a place. System. God damn, I gotta keep giving this tea. Anyway, and that to us is something, I mean, thank you for that. Could you comment a little bit about, anyway, inner planets, which are Mercury, Mars, and Venus. And then we have these so-called further out physical planets of the solar system. Could you give us any background or comment about the settlements of Mercury and Mars? And of course, you've mentioned your own settlements on Venus, which I presume were physical at one point. Oh, excuse me, guys. We read that already. All right. And I just had to reiterate it. So, and anyway, he goes, yes, as to Mars, you will see remnants of the physical structures, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Anyway, and we know what happened to Mars, people. Didn't they mass suicide? When did they destroyed? And then they repopulated the custodians and the Anunnakis? Isn't it thought that maybe Admiral Byrd might be there living out his 500 years? Remember? Those who've been following me for a while? This is all based on theory, right? So let's take up from there. Let us say this: the history presented to humans by their own sciences is extremely narrow and limited in their perspective, and does not have all the places or pieces of the puzzle. For advanced cultures did exist prior to the early stages of man on this planet. In fact, when man was still very primitive, there were highly advanced intergalactic space traveling civilizations who would come to the solar system on a regular basis to observe the emerging phenomena of life on planet Earth. They would make their outposts at various positions, Mars and Venus being the primary ones. And there were also energetic outposts. This is a different, under domes, this is a different way of looking at things. There are beings who are pure energy and so refined that you would call them ephemeral, because they have no form, no mass. Therefore, in the presence of large bodies like Jupiter, would be relatively unaffected by the gravitational field, which there is none. And so there were beings that they're only writing from their knowledge, okay, that also had outposts on Jupiter and Saturn. And physical beings like those who came to Mars and Venus, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Virginia, so was Mercury ever an outpost of any kind? Hathors responded, yes, but that was an energetic, ephemeral culture. They were beings specifically able to live off of stellar gas and light. Sounds familiar? They were very attracted to birthing stars because they fed off of them. To use a human term, all right, mind you, they fed off of them as batteries. Now, who remembers what we were talking about in the Anunnakis, Enlil, and all that? Okay, good. Glad you're keeping up with me. They drew light and energy, as do all beings, but they were specifically attracted like moths to a flame. They were drawn wherever new stars were birthed, and so they existed as an ephemeral, energetic civilization. But there were and are some physical three-dimensional structures on Mars. Most traces of them are gone from Venus, but there are still some structures on your moon, which was once a part of Earth long ago. I'm going to stop at that. And I told you to look at the moon and notice that those are not craters from asteroids. Those are from wars. There was something there, and we fought it. And now you're lied to by the very system that protects those who we damn near destroyed. That's why they need you so damn weak. Oh, you saw me eating chocolate ice cream. Vegan, actually. With about a tablespoon of cinnamon on it. Just the very top. About 3 tablespoons worth. That's it. I won't eat that. I put some on it and I won't eat that for about another 4 or 5 days. I just don't have this taste for sweetness, even if it's tapioca syrup or whatever, which is not all that healthy, people. All right? Even though it's plant-based. And the peanut butter is organic. Even though it is... there is not one facility, even homemade, that doesn't process stuff with certain bugs and stuff like that. So don't worry about it. It's fine. I don't know how many times I've been riding bicycles, this, that, and other, and took on flies and gnats and shit like that on my burgers or French fries and not paying attention, talking and eating. It's not going to harm you. Your system is adapt. The problem is, like the Lyme disease, a tick, which Lyme disease was created by some idiot, okay? Just like the malaria disease and the mosquitoes was created, people, by an idiot. The people y'all want to pay attention to the media and value as scientists. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get into Cryon Monica Moroni with Dr. Amber Wolf, the woman of Lemuria, ancient wisdom for modern times. Okay, I haven't read this in a while, so grab hold of your seat. Those who follow the Cryon work now. That very channeled message given by Lee is recorded, uploaded onto the Cryon website, and offered for free. Something you should know about Lee is that before channeling, okay, he was an award-winning sound engineer, vibrations, and owned his own studio. The guy knows audio equipment like no other, and the quality of the Cryon audio files is a testament to his skill and dedication to offer the best consistent quality sound possible. It is a sheer joy to listen to these recordings. Perhaps it's not something that everyone notices, but when you hear it done badly without processing, sounds like 808 or 8440, without processing, you'll appreciate the difference. Smile. Now back to the story. That's why I say if you got sound equipment, and you can tap into knowing the difference of the 8440 and really tap into like the under bass tone of 7.8 or 8 hertz, and then tap into the 432, the 528, and all those gigahertz. If you can do that within your place and keep it low, because the enemy can pick it up, and they'll be knocking on your door, dudes with gray suits, earlobes connected to their friggin' heads. You won't know, trust me. Probably wearing a Gucci suit. You can do this in your own place. You can change, but you will have to unplug everything. Because even through the lines of electricity, it's the electricity is coming at that same negative energy. So using a solar panel, getting 20, I don't care how many jackery ones, being able to, if you don't know how to solder into a system to maintain with a converter from your car, subwoofer converter, or horns and tweets in your car, get you 2 of those kind of amps and stuff like that, as the capacitors and all that, and then be the factor of driving with a few car batteries, you could change the whole dynamic, what you hear and the vibration of frequency around you, to atone for something else. And even by having tuning forks and bells hanging around in your house. I said a little too much. Anyway, let's go back. Sound possible. It is a sheer joy to listen to these recordings. Perhaps it's not something that everyone notices, but when you hear it done badly without processing, you'll appreciate the difference. Anyway, back to the story. There we were at the base of the rock, preparing for the channel. Both Lee and Cryon team member George Bianchi, set as in Swedish George, set their audio devices to record the channel. Unbeknownst to them, I also set my iPhone to record the channel. And this is something that I never do. And why would I? Especially when there were 2 guys with all their professional equipment set up and ready to go. And yet my intuition was telling me to do this. So I did. Thankfully, I listened to my intuition, as both George and Lee's recordings fell at the same identical minute count. What are the chances of that? How can 2 independent devices fail at the exact same time? Spooky stuff, right? The only successful recording of the Cryon channel was done by, you guessed it, me, a female. A ruhu had prevented the recording being done by a male. You might think this mere coincidence, but I know better. Here is what Cryon said. Greetings, dear ones. I am Cryon of Magnetic Services. It is appropriate that, it sounds a little skittish, acme, cartoonishly, but just pay attention. It is appropriate that we give messages of the creation here, in brackets, at the base of the Oluhu rock. That's over that way towards Hawaii, for those who don't know. But before we say anything, and before we give anything, we ask permission. There are a few places on the planet, when my partner sits to channel, where there must be an agreement with the land and the ancestors of the land. In order to proceed, my partner speaks of the fact that energetic areas often will create technical problems. That often indicates to you that undefined energy is here. It also shows you that the desire of that which is here, which you call the dirt of the earth or the rock before you, has its own energy, purpose, and rules. With the permission of the ancestors, let me take you on a reminder trip as you sit here, literally at the base of the creative stone. The red center of Australia, Oluhu, that's what I meant to say over that way anyway, is here almost within reach of your hand. That's how close you are to history. And when we took you to Lemuria and we channeled at the volcano, you got to see pure creation still pumping out the lava. You saw the specter of Pele, and she was big. Interesting, isn't it, that the creative source of this place has a female power figure. It's a mythology that never changed. And what is Pele? Not Pele, a damn soccer player. Pele? Big Mama. For those having a hard time in your youth, when we took you to that which you call Mount Shasta, the creative energies were there, and the stories were there, and the creation was there. It was all about the 7 sisters. And what did they tell you about when you were drinking Shasta sodas in the 70s? Hijack terms. They got you to believe that it's a soft drink, Mount Shasta. And these 2 places represent nodes of the planet, where those who were the creative seeds actually took their core energy and stayed there. Those who live around the volcano will swear that it is alive, which it is. And those who live at Shasta will see the lights of night, at night, high on the mountain. They know that there is something more there than just humans. We are here, almost touching the very rock of creation. All of you had to have permission from those who are the stewards of this place, Anangu, to be here. However, did you notice that they are all women? For 40,000 years, the traditions have not changed. Women from the stars brought the light to this planet. And right here they continue, from the same place they started. This is a female area, a creation area, and a profound teaching area. Even Cryon is a guest here. It's different here. I'm gonna stop at that. Remember I was telling you about how the women during birthing and during the menstrual cycle would go to a certain area when men were not allowed? It's a purpose, life and death. But death didn't really exist. It was recycled. Man, y'all too ignorant because we've been going to these sick-ass doctors and all these bastards who have no emotions or feelings, who are bound to one thing of stupidity, worse than that, actually. And you can see it and hear it in their voices. They can't even hide it no more. For those of you who visited doctors, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, or if you think otherwise, tell me you're wrong. I would like to see one of these goofy doctors I've been watching. And there's only a handful that are really about it and sound. Oh, and they know. Prove me wrong. My hand shall always prove me wrong. Oh, yeah, AMT. This is the model they're going to send me. I told you I've been back in the building models, right? Okay. Here we go. An American Covenant. A story of women, mysticism, and the making of modern America. Modern America. I told you this is not America. Lucille Scott. And these 5 heads are the heads of what? Y'all didn't get that. 2018 New Orleans. A snake goddess rising. Oshun. Now, you know that's, people always say that's African. I wish these niggas would stop with that. Anyway, it's probably going to contest that here. Oshun delivered me. Her buick encore smelled like mint and Doritos. Oshun, female. And she proclaimed the purple Creole cottage where I entered an Airbnb room. Cute, and people would think Oshun is a male. That's the misleading and misrepresentation of the truth of the narrative. But let's keep moving. In New Orleans, a city forged in the spirit, if not the name of Mary Lavu, people named for Yoruba goddesses give lift rides a tipped well. And I tipped well. The purple cottage sat just outside the Treme, and a 20-minute walk from the location of the Lavu's own Creole abode on St. Anne's, far from being declared a historical landmark. However, the structure Marie's family had lived in for 99 years was demolished in 1903. In its stead rose a shotgun duplex with pale gray siding, and in 2018, one of its historic high-ceilinged 2-bedroom units rented for $1,800 a month. Still, I visited the plot to pay homage. As y'all know, this is 2018 now. The first time I'd visited New Orleans on a family vacation at age 15, I locked myself in a hotel closet, and people say it's all the water in this city. Built in a swamp below sea level, surrounded and bifurcated by a river, a gulf, and a lake. The air humid and thick as velvet that makes it so haunted. Water in voodoo is the spirit's realm. People say the spirits who dwell there talk to you in dreams. After awakening from a dream of my own, I made my way into the dark closet. There, where my sleeping parents couldn't see me, I lay, a kind of fetal crunched, pondering a newfound dissatisfaction with the word that. I discovered my frustration some hours prior while staring at a leaf in the moonlight. Suddenly, profoundly sure, said object was not a that, but a continuation of me. Well, that's so beautiful. Not knowing much about these things as an adolescent girl from Kentucky, I sketched out an angst poem attempting to define the mystically divine there in the dark of my knees, on my knees. That feeling, that balking at binary notions of reality wasn't exactly new. I'd felt something similar the prior summer as a crisp Appalachian waterfall pounded onto my head. My eyes had squinted, and rather painfully, piercing through the cascading water at a yellow butterfly that somehow hovered in the violent mist unharmed. This, in turn, somehow compelled me to swing naked on a vine over a small rocky chasm, shouting, "Fuck all y'all!" Well, it says, "Fuck all y'all!" I guess it's going, though no one but a chipmunk bore witness. I'd felt it again after a Friday night spent consuming shoplifted bottom shelf whiskey and Marlboro Reds in a field, as my friend Beth and I sat on her horse farm, watching the huge Kentucky moon slide out of view as the sun began to rise. It's the one time of day the dewy grass actually glimmers in its titular blue. Now, too young to drive and too old to hold faith in ABC's TGIF lineup, we sat as the gathering light slowly revealed the hills, enshrouded in hazy blue, and the huge, sleek thoroughbreds, silhouetted atop them, simultaneously wild and gentle as they stomped and snorted in the half glow. But it was in New Orleans that the feeling congealed from some awareness flicking ghostly on the periphery of my mind, and I loved the city for it that first time I met it. It's a place where different ages and nations layered atop each other and then compressed into a dilapidated glory of something new. I felt drawn to the freaks, crusty punk squatters, freegrins, and artists who inhabited the city, like ghouls and goblins, outcasts and renegades. The teenage in me, it all felt like some truth people were always trying to hide beneath a shiny surface. The etiquette, starched shirts, and pressed pants of the respectable world. I discovered as honesty and comfort there in the demimonde, where shadows are left to flow free as the light. Now in voodoo, they say it's only when the door between worlds is left shut that what's on the other side, unseen and unheard, morphs into something very scary. Now, before my first visit to New Orleans, I used to think a lot about suicide. After, I didn't so much. Ever since I've been drawn to that city, during one visit in the late aughts, mind you, on the Day of the Dead, I'd watched a person of intermediate, indeterminate, gender and race. Here we go. Dressed in a full body bag of loose black cloth painted with day glow skeleton bones, jitterbugging about a dimly lit jazz bar in the lower Ninth Ward. Outside, I seen blocks of abandoned houses, and the watermarks from Hurricane Katrina still visible on their busted up facades, along with spray painted FEMA X codes denoting the fate of those who once lived inside, if they'd stayed or evacuated, lived or died. Now, in 2018, I saw a young black man in army fatigues perform an aerial spin around his wooden porch banister carved into looping flordelis as a percussion-laden second-line parade processed past on a Ninth Ward street more puddle than road. I watched a rooster, its plumage like a melting creamsicle, eyes went blocked. Creamsicle, bright orange and flecked with white, peck about in front of a pale pink house with a pale pink 1960s Cadillac parked in the driveway beneath a giant old magnolia tree. Standing there, I thought of my inaugural visit to New Orleans and of my current trip, the first one I had made specifically in pursuit of Mary LaVue. And I wondered how, or if, providing my amorphous teenage epiphanies with a history and patron saint had reconfigured them into something new. In the night, the trumpets and trombones wafted after me through the bywater. And then the mahogany down Frenchman Street, past wrought iron balconies, a drunken tourist throng, lurching in flip-flops, and the closed, gated grade line and souvenir shops at the fringes of the French Quarter, all the way to the Mississippi. Still thinking of Amari, I stared at that deep, muddy water and the distant lights, the music still faintly pulsing, but ever present, like blood. They saw the spirits talk to you in dreams. I have a tattoo of the Mississippi River snaking down my left side. I got it not long after Katrina. I couldn't really tell you why. Back in the purple Creole cottage, I dreamed of a body, a skeleton in a fedora, but somehow still whole, dancing beautifully like a maniac Fred Astaire beneath a blue spotlight in an old bar. Rose petals tumbled down through the light from nowhere like drops of blood, and a bright orange eagle flew by. Somehow we all knew it was the end of the world, but then a face came down from the stars, all glittering blue like two, and it was no longer the end. It was just me lying in a field next to a pet cemetery, looking up at this face of a woman, a saint or maybe a goddess of indeterminate race and place and age and made of stars. She offered no words, no wisdom, just a feeling of peace, of someone holding me, telling me silently, I was not alone. Y'all didn't get it, did you? Okay, it's all right. Oh, I enjoy that. That's a good read. Let's put that right there. Take a sip of coconut water. You gotta water the plants too. It has ginger in it. Oh, that's so good. I hope y'all enjoyed that read. And we're at 55 minutes, so I'm gonna say hello and shut it down so I can get back in about an hour and a half or so, too, and we can get this other reads in because, man, I'm just in reading mode today. Many hurricanes are heading their way this summer. I'm just saying, whatever it may be. Let's new my baby. Hey, Lord, what's going on, beloved? Just came over from a legally armed American channel about this Somali who wounded 2 cops and killed another. The whole thing sounds hokey, very hokey. What's your, hey, what's up, Benji? What do? What doing that shit, brother? What's going on, Citadel? The people could fly American black folk tales. Yes, but gravity is a theory. Yes, it is. And it always will be. Mars is now an experimental Earth of many species, including humans. Exactly. Rondo, what's going on, beloved? What's happening? What's happening? Mikey Hill, ABJR, peace, beloved. What's cracking? What's cracking? Oh, again, thanks for that 10, brother. Beloved, appreciate it, man. So it's there. It's there with about $23 other, I think. I ordered a few more books and I added to it. I deposited $50, but nobody's matched me, so it is what it is. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah. If you want to donate. If you don't, well, it is what it is. So, and I was hoping maybe by this weekend I'd go ahead and be able to put a donated $50. I haven't even matched that, and I donated that one last week. Remember? I took the 50 out, went and deposited it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go out here and water it because it's pretty hot outside. It's 3 digits again. Yeah, I'm in a sweatshirt. What we do? That's what I always say to people. I'm going to water all the plants. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 30 of them. It's in 4 different places. Make sure that it's all watered real good. Hit the hot spot on the grass, which actually is kind of growing. People are surprised. Go out here, pick this one up, the hairball control stuff. It's a snack too, so. And get my butt right back. I might want to go for a walk, so I might get a 20-minute, 30-minute walk in. Then come on in, cool off a little bit. It's right at 80 degrees. Let me turn this off because I got distilled water. I got a humidifier. It's always going with this distilled water. So turn it off. There we go. And I appreciate you guys. This is why I shouldn't have got started. You over there crying, brother. Why don't you come over here to the live? Anyway, I'm not gonna say nothing. Somebody's crying in our little personal chat instead of bringing their ass over here. Anyway, appreciate you all. Let me go out here. We don't even know how to support one another the correct way. And I'm not saying I need your support. I'm here to give you support, but it's a circle. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a circle. It's an important circle. All right? So, appreciate you guys. I'm glad a couple of sisters, I think, may have came in. To the brothers, it's 101. And I'll see y'all here shortly. All right? They can't stop shit. Trust me.